Bob Brenly and the world champion Arizona Diamondbacks still looking to clinch the NL West. Tony La Russa and the Cardinals, you know what they've done. They've won the Central. They're looking ahead to the postseason. A big reason why is this guy, Albert Pujols. He continues to stay hot. Cards and Diamondbacks on Fox Sports Net. Well, it hasn't been a full month, but I'm sure to Jamie Wright it feels like it's been about a year since he's made a start. He takes on the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight. Beautiful evening in downtown St. Louis. Inside, Cards and Diamondbacks, first of a 3-game set. And now welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Joe Buck along with Al Rabosky. Good to see you again. And I guess the obvious is we're looking at a playoff preview. Obviously, talking to Tony La Russa, said, well, if we win tonight, we got a shot maybe at opening that first series here at home. So there still is a carrot dangling out there in front of this team.
Absolutely, but yet neither manager wants to overplay their cards and expose too many of their weapons to the other, because they know we don't know where we're going to be playing next Tuesday night, but these two teams are going to be playing in postseason.
Jamie Wright, it's tough enough to work on your mechanics and get things right in the side sessions. Add to that the fact that you haven't made a start since the 4th of September. He's got a lot on his mind, I'm sure, as he heads out there tonight.
Yeah, the Cardinals are very intrigued with him. He's a potential free agent. They really like his stuff and what they think the big upside is with this guy. He has never won here at Busch Stadium. He has got a high ERA. He has not faced the Diamondbacks for a couple years, so I think they're going to see a different pitcher also.
Well, Rick Helling is a guy that Bob Brenly told me just moments ago. We have no idea what we're going to get out of this guy. Some days he looks fantastic. Other days he's just more than hittable. I won't tell you the phrase that he used, but he said he's extremely hittable. So he goes out there, and he's as big an unknown for the Diamondbacks as Wright is for the Cardinals.
Well, the one thing the Diamondbacks know is they've got the great 2 starting pitchers. As you look at Jamie Wright's numbers from Milwaukee and St. Louis, he's 1-0 with the Cardinals, but 6-13 on the year and a high ERA. But I think you're right about Helling. They've got the big 1-2, but after that it really drops off, and they aren't sure what they're going to get.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about here tonight as we look at this matchup between these two sides. On the other side of the break, Dan McLaughlin will have a visit with Fernando Vina. We get ready for the Cards and the Diamondbacks tonight. The paint is officially dry on that banner. They are the Central Division champions. Part of the team, Fernando Vina, sat down with Dan McLaughlin.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. Here with Fernando Vina, the first of 3 tonight against Arizona, and it should be an interesting series when you consider this is the team that you're most likely going to see in the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. We know this is the team. We faced them last year in the playoffs, and we got some good things going. We got some, hopefully, we're 3 games out of the home field advantage, so that's big to us too. So hopefully we can go out and play well and win some games.
Are you guys looking at home field advantage at all, or are you looking ahead to next week?
I think either way, we'd love to have home field advantage, but if it doesn't happen, we play good on the road also too. So either way, you're going to go and play a tough team, and we're ready for that challenge.
One of the things that we're not going to see is a guy like Morris on the mound or a Woody Williams. You don't want to tip your cards early when you're going to see him a week later.
Exactly. You don't want to show them too much, and we'll play with what we have, and I think we have a good chance to play well. So hopefully, like I said, we can win some ball games.
What do you know about Helling, tonight's starter for them?
He's a good pitcher. He's been around for a long time, and he's got great stuff. So we got to go out there and play the way we know how, and scratch and claw and score some runs.
And then finally, Fernando, looking ahead to next week, that means Johnson and Schilling. Is there a better 1-2 punch right now in Major League Baseball?
No way. I mean, they're the best. That's the bottom line. They're the best around, and it's a great challenge to be able to face the best around. So I'm excited. I'm fired up for the task at hand, and we played them last year and they beat us, so we're really fired up.
He's at the top of the order tonight. That's Fernando Vina. Coming up, it's the Cards and the Diamondbacks. Game 1 of this 3-game set from Busch is coming up on Fox.
Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net, brought to you by Budweiser, delivering taste at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste, known only to the king of beers, Budweiser. By your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Net. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. By Pennzoil, protection under the toughest conditions. And by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. The way things go in sports television is we time everything out. We make everything precise. When they start the game at 7:09, we're in trouble. Bob Brenly and his crew don't mind. Womack is set to go, and the first pitch from Jamie Wright is too low for ball one. You know Tony Womack. Steve Klein knows Tony Womack. He was the one who beat the Cardinals in Game 5 of that division series last year with a hit down the left field line. Jamie Wright is our Chrysler Jeep starter for the Cardinals.
Right, you see his overall numbers, 6-13, high ERA, too many walks for the amount of strikeouts.
Now, one thing I read, Al, is that they're trying to slow down his delivery a little bit, and as we said before, you don't have to be Dave Duncan or anybody with expertise to realize that he was really pushing the ball to the plate, getting underneath his pitches. As Womack lines to center, Edmonds takes care of it, 1 away. We'll talk about that in a second. We look at the lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Bob Brenly put pen to paper and came up with this. You know Womack, now it's Spivey, Durazo, Gonzalez, Finley, Damian Miller the catcher, DeLucci in right, Donalds is at third base, and Rick Helling is pitching and batting ninth. Here is Mr. 301 hitting Junior Spivey.
All-star this year.
Who was that National League manager for the All-Star team?
One of your former partners.
The guy down in the dugout. But Spivey has had a remarkable year, considering they really weren't expecting anything like this coming out of spring training. He has been a pleasant surprise and come up with some big hits for this team. As he gets under this one, flies it to left, might carry out at the wall. It is gone. A home run for Junior Spivey, number 14 on the year. And with that, the Diamondbacks jump on top 1-0. The way Marrero reacted, looked like he thought he had a shot at that ball when he came down and didn't have it. And Spivey has put Arizona out in front.
It's kind of hard to tell, but it almost appeared when he jumped that it might have gone off his glove, but failed to bring it back. Kind of got turned around a little bit. If it didn't go off his glove, it was just beyond his reach. And look, did he jump up and almost hit his head on the padding?
Here's Durazo. He takes a ball outside. 375 feet. The wall is 372 feet. So there was 3 feet worth of air between the ball and the wall, according to the computer generated how far did it fly machine that they have here in the press box. Jamie Wright, 1 ball, 1 strike on Durazo.
So here's the problem that Jamie Wright has. It appears he really struggles with his command to left-handed batters. He loses his release point and the ball gets away from him.
That makes it 2-2. You do notice a different delivery, though, as we haven't seen him for a while. You may have seen him in relief. I think he had that one game along with Garrett Stevenson in Houston. You got a chance to see him in relief, and that's been about it. He's been on the shelf working hard with the man you just saw, Dave Duncan, trying to figure out how to get this thing together.
Dave Duncan is thrilled to death with the upside Jamie Wright. Really likes him, almost to the point where Simon Tachi was in jeopardy of losing a start to Houston because he wanted Wright in his favor.
So after the home run, a walk, Gonzalez will stand in. We go around the horn. It's brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. You look at Martinez and Vina. On the left side, it's Pujols at third tonight. Renteria is the shortstop. And out in the outfield, Eli Marrero in left with Edmonds in center and J.D. Drew making the start in right. Mike Matheny behind the plate. He is kind of taken over back there. Jamie Wright is already allowed to run, has a man on, only 1 out. We'll deal with Luis Gonzalez. And he misses outside with ball 1. So if the Cardinals do end up re-signing Jamie Wright, and you said during our open that he's a potential free agent, they would probably do it based on the assessment made by Dave Duncan and what he's seen on the side, as opposed to what Wright has done so far in games, as he's having a tough time throwing strikes here. It's 2-0.
I think you're right, Joe. You know, he's 0-4, ERA at 9.69 and 5 career starts here. Lifetime, he's 49 at 67. He is only 27 years of age with a lot of experience.
2-0. Off right to Vina, to Renteria, and late at first. But the Cardinals get the lead man, score at 1-4-6. Well played, 2 out.
Jamie, a big target out there, and Mike Matheny's going to make sure he's okay. But the bat of Gonzalez off the leg. Vina gets to it, tries to get to Renteria. He had nothing on the throw. As you see, Renteria will try to go high as his timing was messed up with that little underhand flip from Vina. And he was standing at the bag, had no momentum to cross the bag and get something on his throw.
So the inning continues, and it's Gonzalez at first with Steve Finley at the plate. And that's ball one. You can see the tremendous movement that Wright has on a 90s plus fastball.
Yeah, that's what they're so excited about, is he does have that great movement. You know, he can dominate a game.
That's in at the knees, 1 ball, 1 strike.
But I think one of the things is they're going to try to bring him along with the mental toughness and how to gut out a ball game. I've had some of his former managers tell me as the game goes along, you know, he starts panicking. The better he pitches, the later it goes, and he's just, you know, fearful of a mistake.
That'll end the inning. 1 hopper off the bat of Finley to Tino Martinez. The only run of the first inning, at least the top half. The home run by Junior Spivey. Just got out. 375 feet to be exact. 1-0 Diamondbacks. Tony La Russa has guided his Cardinals team into the playoffs for the 4th time in the 7 years that he has been here. And we look at the lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Vina with Morero batting second. Edmonds, Pujols, Tino Martinez, who's done that since the All-Star break. J.D. Drew in right, Edgar Renteria, Mike Matheny, and Jamie Wright pitching and batting ninth. Around the horn brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Rubio Durazo is at first base. Junior Spivey is at second with Chris Donalds. He's bounced around. He's at third base. Tony Womack is the shortstop. Louis Gonzalez is waving to all his fans in left. Steve Finley's in center, and David Deloche is in right. Damian Miller does the catching, and Richard, call me Rick Helling, is on the mound.
Rick Helling is part of our Chrysler pitching matchup. See his 29th start, 9 wins, 11 losses. He is 1-0 against the Cardinals this year.
Vina takes a strike over the outside corner.
So Rick Helling won his last time out, and that stopped a 6-game slide. He was 0-3 with 3 no decisions during that 6 games.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, we talked about it briefly, and I know nobody pays any attention whatsoever to the open, the on camera that we do. So we'll say it again, that Tony La Russa before the game puts a lot of stock in what happens in tonight's game, because the Cardinals enter this one. That's a foul ball as it hit Vina while he was still in the batter's box. So Fernando's in the hole. Tony La Russa said, if we win tonight, then we've got a shot to maybe end up with a better record than Arizona and open the division series here at home, which is a tremendous advantage, and it's worth going after, in my opinion. And obviously in Tony's, he thinks if they lose tonight, then it would be a fruitless charge, even though the Cardinals end the year with 4 against Milwaukee here at home. And Tony was asking me, and I've heard both now, that asking me if Randy Johnson was going to pitch in tomorrow night's game. The word is that they are going to bypass him and not pitch him, which could make tonight's game even more important if the Cardinals could win it.
Yeah, I heard that Johnson will not pitch tomorrow, but depending on if they lose the first 2 games of the series, Schilling could pitch Wednesday afternoon. If they clinch and win a couple of these games, then Schilling probably will not pitch Wednesday either.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and Vina is going to be the first out in the bottom of the first. Donalds, 1-1. So Helling takes care of the leadoff hitter. Our Auto Tire League leaders, most home runs allowed, 1998 through this season, and Rick Helling somehow has outdone Jose Lima in this category of utility.
He's got 29 home runs allowed this year. Of course, Lima got released by the Tigers.
Eli Marrero takes a strike. Marrero hitting .259. He's had a very good year. As you know, 17 home runs, 61 RBIs. It's a lot of production for a guy who can do just about anything defensively and can hit really anywhere in the lineup.
Joe, the Scott Rowland was named the National League Player of the Week with his .421 average, 5 home runs and 8 RBIs. But other candidates were Scotty's teammates, Eli Marrero and Jim Edmonds.
Team must have been in Colorado.
Eli hit .444, 3 home runs, 4 RBIs. Jim Edmonds .533, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs.
Good to see Edmonds coming around. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Reaching up and poking into the right center field. That ball's going to go to the wall, and Eli's got to think 3. Out. 2 away.
Joe, I wasn't too sure as you watch him out there, hit it out there. DeLucci had a bad approach. I thought he might have missed second base also, but he does not pick up the third base coach whatsoever. And that is just not good baseball. Look at Oquendo. Let him tell you what you're going to do. And getting thrown out at third base is not a good play. This defense for Arizona is very good. Last year, only 84 errors. They made their 85th error of the season yesterday, but they're still very good.
Edmonds takes a ball up and away. Let's go back and see if Eli Marrero missed the bag. The only fault, it looked like he caught the corner. The only fault that I see in this is that he was looking over his shoulder. Otherwise, there's 1 out. I don't have any problem with him going for 3, and they just made a good play and got him.
Well, but I mean, look at every time you look over your shoulder, you slow down your forward progress.
With 2 out, nobody on, 2 balls, no strikes.
It's going for 3 with his speed is fine, but when you're looking over your shoulder, you slow down, and the whole reason you have a third base coach is you make the determination. You know you've got at least 2. Let him decide whether you got 3.
That's ball 4, a 2-out walk. Well, at the point when he's getting around second base, he's already made the commitment to go for 3 anyway. Oquendo could have been a statue over there by that point, because Marrero going to second base had made up his mind he was going to go for 3. That's the frustrating part to me is there was no.
But look at Joe. If he's made the decision, why does he keep on looking?
I do think he's made the decision. I think that the mistake is what you say, that he keeps looking over his shoulder. Tim Garcia gets to play mayor of Busch Stadium and make a friend. Come on, Tim. Al always gets to do this. You do it.
Did you see where Steve Blass? Did you see where Steve Blass got a ball the other day? Tried to throw it to a youngster and hit a gentleman in the head next to him.
Of all the guys for that to happen to.
And that was the whole point of the article was his wildness continues.
Poor guy. Can't get away from it when he's in the booth. No balls, 2 strikes, as they say. Pujols went around, and Albert's in the hole after Helling issued the 2-out walk.
Helling walked 5, and that's uncharacteristic for him earlier this season when he defeated the Cardinals.
Hard hit off Donalds. Long throw. Good play by Womack. 5-6-3 to end the first. And Womack showed a good arm getting the out to end the inning. A hit in the inning. Eli out trying to stretch it to 3. And the Cardinals strand 1, trail by 1. Oh, it's not too early to get your membership to the 2003 Cardinals Crew Kids Club at 2002 prices. Visit the Family Pavilion at Busch Stadium for more information on how to be the first in the club next season, or call 314-421-3060. This October will be filled with spellbound days, magical mystery nights, as sports' biggest month comes to Fox. Baseball's Division Series kicks off with up to 125 hours of October's magical matchups. Heck, we'll make it seem like 140 hours with thrilling NFL showdowns and exciting baseball playoff action. It's all on Fox beginning this October 1st.
Be about 100 hours of you.
Yeah, and I apologize for that right now.
Oh, no, I want to hear it.
Here's Tino Martinez leading off. Tino's numbers are getting more and more fun to look at up on the scoreboard with 21 home runs now, 75 RBIs, and an average at 264.
Tino's batting .301 in his last 43 games. He's got 6 home runs and 14 RBIs his last 15 games.
A 1-0 pitch to Martinez has popped up for Donalds. 1 away. That'll bring in J.D. Drew. Where is the great knee quad situation with J.D. Drew? Where does he stand right now? Is he getting surgery? Does he want surgery? Is it going to be laser surgery? What's going to happen?
Well, he's told me yesterday that he is going about 99% sure he'll have surgery.
He bats with 1 out here in the second and takes a ball high. There's that new brand spanking new procedure that they try to get that dead tissue out of the tendon. That's something that he's looking at, right? Should I believe what I read on that? That's what I'm asking.
Well, he says he's going to have it. He's talked with Dr. Paletta. He saw a specialist in Vail, Colorado when we were, I guess it was a week ago today, the off day, and out in Denver. He went up to Vail. Oh, he did it on Tuesday, to be precise.
Here's a 1-1 to Drew. 2-1.
It has affected him like McGuire and Ray Langford. It was their back knee. This is his front knee. But still, it does affect him hitting.
2-1. That'll play on the left side for Womack. 2 out. Third pop-up already in this game against Rick Helling. What's on Tap brought to you by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. Tomorrow night, Cards and Diamondbacks, game 2 of this 3-game set. Cardinals tonight with Dan, Al, Mike, and others at 6:30 on Fox Sports Net. With 2 out, here is Edgar Renteria hitting .308.
Edgar's been having a little back problem, so with the clinching, they've had the opportunity to rest a few guys over the weekend. Scott Rowland is the candidate who did not play yesterday or today. It's a fine line. You want to keep all these guys. You see how hot they've been hitting. You want to keep them in there, but you want to get them healed up and rested.
I must be nuts, but if you're going to play all year to get into the postseason. And you take care of that. Now you've got an opportunity to start the postseason against a tough team like Arizona. They're tough because of Johnson and Schilling more than anything else. Renneria checked his swing. It's 2-2. Here you have Arizona here. They're talking about resting their big guns. I put the pedal down and try to get these 3 games and give myself a shot at starting the playoffs here at home.
I think it's a huge advantage. Now they play Colorado at home while we're playing Milwaukee.
So we'll see how this series unfolds as Helling gets his first strikeout. Top of the order for the Diamondbacks in the 3rd. They lead by 1. It's a 1-0 Arizona lead as we move into the 3rd inning. Each side has a hit, but the Diamondbacks hit left the park. This week, get your NFL fix a day earlier with the most outrageous, unpredictable NFL pregame show you've ever seen. Introducing the NFL show on Fox Sports Net with Michael Irvin, Tony Siragusa, Tommy Davidson. Pregame shows may never be the same. You can do that on Saturday nights, and that's presented by U.S. Postal Service. 9:15 on Fox Sports Net. Jamie Wright back to the hill. Womack, Spivey, and Durazo, the top 3 in the order for the Diamondbacks. And that's ball 1.
Big D in the back of Schilling's hat.
Do we know what that stands for?
Guess
foul.
23 wins. Maybe that's what it stands for. Of course,
that's something that the Major League Baseball, they're going to start fining guys next year for that stuff.
I know. And they do not like it. Most people put their name on the bill of the hat or number.
You know what you could do to get around Major League Baseball is learn how to sweat in a specific pattern so that the gross mark on your hat spells out like your aunt's name. To the right side, broken bat. Vina, Womack goodbye, 1 out. This day in world history, brought to you by Schnucks. September 23rd, 1939. The world was going through many changes. And in a 22-4 win over the Phillies, Cookie Lavagetto of the Dodgers reaches base 7 consecutive times. Good night, everybody. 1 out, nobody on, and here is Junior Spivey. Way back in the 1st. Spivey magic. And it was 1-0 Arizona. It still is. Spivey's 2 for 2. He needs only a double and a triple to hit for the cycle.
You know, last year became only the 50th rookie to have a pair of 5-hit games. He was originally drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals. He wanted to sign with us, and not much money, so he went on to school, and now he's becoming rapidly a star with Arizona.
Here's a Rubio Durazo, another guy who's had a tough time staying healthy, but when he is available and in the lineup, powerful guy. 16 home runs and 213 at bats. Spivey, who's stolen 11, gets a look from Jamie Wright.
Durazo's problem is his wrist. Seems like he's broken that 2 or 3 different times. They said he was having one of the most phenomenal spring trainings before he re-injured that wrist again this year.
But he really has supplanted Mark Grace at first base for Arizona.
You mean their relief pitcher?
The relief pitcher, Mark Grace, who had to come into a game, I think it was against the Dodgers.
Yeah, I think so. 19-1, or well, he did give up a home run.
1 on, 1 out. Gave up a home run to a young middle infielder, and then basically apologized that the poor guy who hit his first major league home run hit it off him because it just didn't mean much.
You know, Mark, I've talked to a couple of coaches, and they said he has handled the situation and not playing every day like just like a dream for the organization.
That's foul, and that's a broken bat.
As a matter of fact, he's handled it so well that the Diamondbacks owner, Jerry Colangelo, has already re-signed him for next year. Did not even have the baseball people make the decision. He did it himself with Mark. His lifetime numbers.
Had a great career. Never was a big power threat at first base. Worked his way, and I mean worked his way, into becoming a very good defensive first baseman day after day with Joe Altobelli, who was a coach for the Chicago Cubs when he first broke in. Boy, did he come up with some heartbreaking hits against the Cardinals over the years.
Boy, isn't this appropriate with Durazo from Mexico. I got a nice letter from Gabby Kipling last year, and she talked about I talked about my days of playing winter ball in Mexico, and she is originally from Sonora, Mexico, and I finally met her at a card show, and I'm sure she's here because of Durazo.
Got him on the outside corner. 2 gone. Strikeout number 2 for Jamie Wright.
Let's see. Have a backdoor breaking ball. Looked like it went around the plate, but Jamie gets the call. His second strikeout.
There's Luis Gonzalez, who last year hit 57 home runs and drove in 142 runs. So naturally you think he's going to drop off after that kind of a year, and he has. 28 home runs. Does have over 100 RBIs and has averaged 289. He got the series winning bloop base hit against Mariano Rivera in Game 7. Ball 1 low and away.
Kind of like Womack's hit against Steve Klein.
A little flare. Womack's hit was a screaming line drive compared to what Gonzalez.
Yeah, well, I guess you're right. I never asked Steve Klein, the guy that throws almost exclusive sliders, why he threw him a fastball.
You're scared of him. Are you scared of Steve Klein? Go ahead and say it.
Scared of his hat.
But are you scared of what response you may get if you said, why would you throw Tony Womack?
No, it's just
fastball.
It just probably just didn't want to remind him that he got beat on his second best pitch.
2 balls, no strikes. Good breaking ball in for a strike. 2-1. So you've got an interested observer in Dave Duncan watching in the dugout for Jamie Wright. See the numbers right now compared to 1 year ago today.
Huge drop off on home runs.
3-1 with Finley next.
Third in the MVP balloting a year ago with his 57 home runs.
Who won the MVP last year? I have no idea. Bonds? It's got to be Bonds.
Yeah, Bonds. I was going to say, you make us think.
It's amazing how those baseball awards, even when you follow these guys around all spring and summer, it's obvious who the guy is. They get the award, and then like 8 minutes later you forget. At least I do. Maybe there's some. Maybe I need to get myself checked out. Should I worry about that?
I don't think so.
Runner will go on 3-2. Gonzalez is gone. Another good breaking ball. And Wright has featured that pitch. Did to Terrazzo and does to Gonzalez. That got him. Third strikeout. Still 1-0 Diamondbacks. Our Aflac trivia question is this: how many Cy Young Award winners has Dave Duncan either caught or coached?
Very good question.
He has worked with some of the best. Here's Mr. Steve Finley with a 1-0 Arizona lead. We're into the 4th.
Maybe a little help. He has coached been the pitching coach for the Cleveland Indians, the White Sox, the Oakland Athletics, and St. Louis Cardinals.
You wanted to throw the White Sox out there because of one of those names on the list.
Right. That's when he first got together with Tony La Russa as manager and coach. They were in the A's system as players.
Here's Wright getting wild with a lefty at the plate. Edmund close, and it's 3-0. Wright's got to throw a strike, and Finley went after something other than a 3-0 fastball, and Brenly's hanging his head over there.
Well, you know, it's one of those things. You got a veteran out there. You say, well, wait a minute, that wasn't the pitch you were going to look for, and be able to drive the ball.
Walk number 3 is handed out by Jamie Wright. Well, every Friday during the season, there's a Busch Bash at the ballpark. Come down early and win tickets for that night's game and enjoy live music, barbecue, and a Busch or easy drinking Busch Light. One left. It's Friday against Milwaukee. It's outside Gate 7 in the shadow of the Stan Musial statue at the Southwest Airlines Family Pavilion. And it's a lot of fun from 5 to 7. 421-3060 or log on to stlcardinals.com for more info as Damian Miller takes the ball. Miller, his first time, lined out to center. Took the first pitch in the second inning and hit a sinking line drive that Edmonds got to. Here's a 1-0. Instead, a look at Finley, who has stolen 15. Nobody really pays much attention to Finley, but he's really maintained himself as a very consistent major league player, very good defensive center fielder, and a guy that the Diamondbacks have been able to count on after the Padres used to count on.
He's gone over 2,000 hits this season and plays a Gold Glove or near Gold Glove caliber center field.
Here's a 1-0 pitch from Wright to Miller. It'll be hard to turn 2. And Wright makes the right decision. Out at first is Miller. Down to second is Finley. 1 away.
Like a swinging bunt. You like it if, you know, when Jamie Wright throws strikes, it gets people out. And it would just be a lot easier if he could consistently get ahead in the count.
Here's DeLucci. And now time's called as Matheny and Wright want to at least get together on the signs.
Now, the first time they've had a man at second base, so probably remember what they said before the game, but make sure their memory is not a senior moment.
Wright's only 27 years old.
I know, but you know.
DeLucci slaps at it foul.
There have been some catchers that have put down a sign and then forgot what they put down before the next pitch is delivered to them.
It's like a quarterback forgetting the snap count as he walks to the line. That's going to play easy for Martinez. Over to third is Finley. 2 out now. And now standing in Jamie Wright's way as he tries to get through the 4th inning, keeping it a 1-run game, is Chris Donald.
Now there's little situations like this is where as a pitcher you really have to bear down. They got the pinch hitter. This is
Donalds will be lifted after the injury, so he's not okay to continue.
Citron, Alexander Citron.
So no more Chris Donalds, and we'll try to get an injury report. Obviously hurt himself on that bunt by Eli Marrero.
Citron played shortstop yesterday. He's a little switch hitting infielder.
That's ball one.
That-
And Wright has the pitcher Helling waiting in the on-deck circle.
Citron batted .322 in 85 games at Tucson. 22 doubles, 3 triples, 4 homers.
One ball, one strike. Jamie Wright trying to pitch around the leadoff walk. That man Finley's at third with 2 out. And strike 2 on Cintron.
Kind of a big swing, isn't it? Cintron.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Nicely played by Matheny. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rest of this series, as you watch Matheny do his thing, Andy Bennis will pitch tomorrow night. We'll have that game for you right here. And then on Wednesday, an early start, 12:40, Garrett Stevenson will dust himself off and make the start. To the right side for Vina. And nice work by Wright to get around a leadoff walk. We'll see J.D. bat in the bottom of the 4th. 3rd after Pujols and Martinez. 1-0 Diamondbacks.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the program.
But he leaves, and Cintron is over at third base now, as Albert Pujols leads off. The Cardinals had their best scoring chance of the night in the 3rd inning. 2-out error on a ball hit by Vina by Durazo, the first baseman. Then that bunt base hit. And then a 3-0 count on Edmonds. And Helling worked his way back and struck him out looking, as Pujols lines one into center field for Finley. 1 away. The Cardinals have left 3 tonight. Trailed by 1 as Tino Martinez walks to the plate. Martinez popped up his first time. Not much action around Major League Baseball tonight. An off night for most. Milwaukee and Houston, they're 3-3 in the 4th inning. Tampa Bay and New York are playing. Tampa Bay actually leads in that game in the American League, and Boston at Baltimore. Boston leads 3-2 in the 9th inning. The American League is set with regard to who the teams are, but there's a good battle for the West, and there's a big reason why you want to win the West. Do you want to start the division series playing Minnesota at home, or do you want to go try to open up and win at Yankee Stadium? That's what the wild card winner will have to do, and that hit the bat. It's a foul ball.
And yet the Angels match up pretty favorable with the Yankees.
They've handed the Yankees some thumpings this year. I don't believe the Yankees are going to be in the World Series this year.
Just don't have that feel, do they?
I don't think so, and I can't put my finger on why, but the pitching is okay. But if you don't have a guy like Rivera that you can count on, and how many times has Joe Torre gone to Rivera in the 8th inning in these postseason games, and when he comes in, it is usually, and I say this with the Diamondbacks here, usually lights out. That ball's got a chance to drop, and it does. It's a fair ball, and Martinez ends up at second with a well-placed 1-out double.
That's Gonzalez, who's grabbing his left shoulder and maybe even the collarbone up on top. He is in pain. And Womack is limping a little bit, grabbing sort of like his left hip. So this could be a very costly play, as 2 of their regulars are hurt. Great effort, all 3 of them converging and then all colliding. Third baseman, shortstop, and left fielder. Looked like he got his Womack's knee right on the top of the shoulder. Watch Womack, the middle one. He goes flying as his knee goes right into the top of the shoulder of Gonzalez.
Looked like it caught him on the back of the shoulder.
Yeah, maybe the back, or even maybe luckily it didn't hit him in the head. Yeah, but all three of them, and Gonzo looks a little better right there, but he's kind of holding that shoulder, and he's coming out of this game too. That doesn't look good.
Well, you can see by him muttering to himself that he is concerned about that. The Diamondbacks have to be. They center their entire offense around Luis Gonzalez as their cleanup man. Take a look at it normal speed and you get a better idea.
Great effort from all of them, and there you see the collision. Immediately grabs the top of his shoulder. Now he hasn't moved that left hand as he's gotten it situated close to his body. I mean, separated shoulder.
Could be anything, really. J.D. Drew is coming up. That's McCracken coming into play in the outfield, and they're going to move DeLucci into left, put McCracken in right field. So they're going to switch spots in the outfield. McCracken's in right. Let's go to Dan McLaughlin. Dan?
Well, Joe, kind of a sidebar to what we just saw. That shot at Tino Martinez was one of extreme concern, and one of the reasons why is because he and Luis Gonzalez were best of friends growing up in that Tampa area, went to the same grade school, played Little League Baseball together, and they're still very much very close. Let's talk about tonight's starter, Rick Helling. You were talking about guys that contribute down the stretch, and this is one of the guys that they were counting on, Rick Helling, and he had a pretty good outing his first time out against St. Louis. You have to go all the way back to April 15th. He went 7 innings, allowed 5 runs in that game, but one of the runs that he gave up was to the man stepping to the plate, and that was J.D. Drew, a home run for J.D. Drew against Rick Helling, and that was also the night that Andy Bennis gave up an awful lot of runs, and we thought that he was on his way to retirement. 14-5 would be the final. Helling would pick up the victory. Bennis thought he was retired. He has come back, and now all 3 of these players have played major roles in postseason play, hopefully for both these teams down the stretch. Guys, back to you.
All right, Dan, thanks. Good points all the way around as Helling deals with Drew here. Runner at second, tying run, 1 out. JD had a big rip at that pitch. Strike 1. Yeah, that was the night that Bennis walked off the mound, and then, you know, the Cardinals were hoping that Andy was going to retire at that point. They ended up needing him eventually after all the injuries. I mean, just a ridiculous run of injuries. And you know the story from there. When Andy Bennis has come back and meant to this Cardinal rotation, a big reason why they enjoy the lead they enjoy right now in the Central. Strike 2 on Drew.
Drew is 0 for his last 17. Won 15 home runs on the year and very few in the second half. Very few even extra base hits in the second half as that knee is flared up.
Runner at second, 1 out. Drew took strike 3 on the outside corner. And Helling has come up with strikeouts with runners in scoring position. Edmonds last inning, and now Drew here in the 4th.
Set up outside.
Wow.
And you can see why JD took that pitch.
That's an Eric Gregg strike from 3 years ago.
You know, our cameras are a little off center, but just because the catcher sets up and ahead in the count like that, he might look like he's set up way outside.
Renneria got one off the end of the bat. Strike 1.
Kind of after seeing the pitch to JD, Edgar kind of went out there and expanded his zone to protect himself.
Martinez with that Fluke double down the left field line. He's now at second, the tying run with 2 out. Renneria is driven in 76, trying to make it 77.
Well, they're playing him so far around to right field. How far the center fielder is, the right fielder straight away as if he was a left-handed pull hitter. Big gap out into left center.
Now they go away, and it counts 2-1. Matheny, who has 33 RBIs compared to Renteria's 76, is on deck.
And that 76 RBIs for Edgar ties his career high.
He's just had a great year all the way around. And we all called it in spring training because you could see a difference physically with Renteria. That might drop. Tie game. Renteria delivers and now goes down to second on a horrendous throw by McCracken.
And terrible by the pitcher. He was still standing on the pitcher's mound when that throw got away from the catcher behind home plate.
I mean, that's a veteran in McCracken who's got to know on a ball hit like that, unless a guy's carrying a baby grand piano on his back, he's got no chance to throw the guy out at the plate. And then he threw a slider that went, I mean, you see where that ball ends up. And as Al said, the pitcher's standing out on the mound watching everything. So they're going to walk Matheny now. And if nothing else, the error by McCracken moves Renteria into scoring position. That makes the Diamondbacks walk Matheny and get Jamie Wright out of the way here in the 4th inning.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
This has already been a very costly game for the Diamondbacks.
See where Rick Helling was exactly as that ball came in from right.
Well, you know, as soon as the ball goes to right side of the field, there you see him standing on the mound. But as soon as that ball goes to the right side of the field, you have one responsibility, and that is to come back towards. Initially, you kind of go halfway between third and home plate. And then if you see where the throw goes, then you move towards where the throw is.
I know that on the strength, Al, of Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling, most believe that this Diamondbacks team, even as well as Atlanta's played this year, may very well be the team to beat, especially in that first round. And that's the danger in a short series of having to deal with those two big guns. But in my opinion, this Arizona Diamondbacks team is not as good as it was last year.
It's not as good, and I'll tell you, the Cardinals' offense is much better than it was a year ago. Robin Yount, the Hall of Famer, lives in the Phoenix area, and they talked him into being their first base coach this year. Bob Brenly very pleased with how he jumped in with both feet and really works hard.
Count evens, a ball and a strike. Now it's 1-2. Wright going up and after it, trying to drive it. Jamie struck out his first time. He could put the Cardinals on top for the first time tonight with a hit here. But right now, the Arizona Diamondbacks are thinking about one thing, and it isn't Jamie Wright, and it isn't Rick Helling. They're thinking about Luis Gonzalez and wondering how badly he is hurt. It's a 1-1 game now as we move to the 5th here in St. Louis. You can explore Cardinal baseball by arriving at the game in your new Ford Explorer, now with $2,500 cash back or 0% financing for 60 months and no payments until 2003 to qualified buyers. Ford and your quality Ford stores, your home run to summer fun as we move into autumn. Do you call it autumn or do you call it fall, Al?
Both.
Both?
Yeah. Not at the same time, but
you have been known to say one or the other.
Yeah.
Here's Vina, top of the order for the Cardinals in the 5th, 1-1 game, and a squirter that rolls foul.
Yeah, the leaves fall during autumn.
Okay.
See?
You spring forward and fall back during autumn.
Now that's getting too clever for me there.
No balls, one strike.
A nice letter from Ron Crane, Springfield, Missouri. He agrees with us that Scott Rowland's the best third baseman we've seen in a long, long time, especially wearing a Cardinal uniform.
Who would you say the best third basemen are, at least in recent history? If you want to start with Boyer.
For the Cardinals?
Yeah, start with Boyer and go forward from there. No balls, 2 strikes. Vina takes ball 1 outside.
Well, Kenny Reitz was great defensively and a terrific player in the month of April.
And boy, could he run.
No.
Boy, can he hit a golf ball.
Yes. Yes.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Helling's made some good pitches tonight as he gets his 6th strikeout.
Yeah, you got to give him credit. Watch him jump off the mound after he gets this strike call. You know, they lost Ryan Anderson. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. He's out for the postseason because he broke his foot being hit by a line drive over the weekend.
He's another valuable guy.
Sure.
Left-handed starter as Marrero gets a base hit to left with 1 out. Eli's 3 for 3 with a double, a bunt single, and a line drive base hit here with 1 out in the 5th.
Eli has been lighting it up of late. Joe, when he does not take a wild swing, he just tries to stay within himself, you know, that's a result you get frequently. Every now and then he'll get a little bit big with his swing, start expanding the zone, and gets himself out more so than the hitter or the pitcher.
Edmonds now 1 on, 1 out. Jim missed an opportunity, albeit with 2 out back in the 3rd when he struck out. Cardinals were down at the time 1 to 0. Had 2 on with the 2 out. The count was 3-0, and Helling worked his way back and struck him out. Roland and Woody Williams talking to Tony La Russa before the game, as I know you did, Al. And they got a good report on Woody Williams. No further damage. It is sore, and they're going to work him out. They're going to keep him on the sidelines until they hope game 3 of the division series. That's at least the plan at the moment.
Yeah, and Woody is the kind of guy, I remember initially when he came off the oblique muscle strain, did not have any rehabs, just came right back out and pitched well, and they're hoping for the same thing again. They think they caught it before he did any damage, but it is sore.
Edmonds still waits for the first pitch. They're worried about Marrero at first. To the right side and through. Eli will hold. Thought about it. Held. And it's 2 on, 1 out. Pujols coming up. Here's a spot, Al, where you got to look at your third base coach.
Well, yeah, you look at your third base coach, and after the last throw we saw, he did have to hold up there to let the ball get through, and that probably cost him the third base bag. But he never looked at Oquendo this time. And after the throw we saw McCracken make, that's the time I think Oquendo would have sent him.
But he never looked at him. He's looking over his shoulder. And now it's 2 on with 1 out for Pujols. Albert Pujols started the day with 124 RBIs. He's still on that mark. Berkman of Houston started the day at 128. Houston and Milwaukee tied 4-4 in the middle inning, so we don't know if Berkman is added to that total of 128. Chance for Pujols here, and he went after a bad pitch. 0-2.
We saw Pujols, particularly in the Houston series down in Texas, really go after a lot of off-speed pitches, you know, like just trying to get multiple RBIs with nobody on base. Just relax, Albert.
And why not? If you're Helling, go back out there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We understand Berkman is not in the lineup tonight for Houston.
He came out of the game Saturday afternoon with a hamstring strain, so he's listed day to day. So this is a good time for Albert to get to him or overtake him.
2 on with 1 out. much as it pains me to say it, everybody talks about the MVP award. To me, that award is so clearly Barry Bonds' award with the year that he's put together. I mean, his numbers, and I have to be honest with you, I haven't really paid much attention to his numbers, but they're unbelievable. He's going to win the batting title, hitting .370. He's slugging a record high. He's going to end up with probably 200 walks.
Yep. He's already broken his walk record of a year ago. He could get to the 200 walks. He's going to be the oldest player to win his first batting title. He's very near the on-base percentage all time.
Boy, he's just getting better. Amazing. The 2-2.
Ooh.
I was watching the highlights from yesterday's game before this game, and that pitch that he hit up around his neck.
And he got a hanging pitch again, and he tried to get on top of it. His eyes lit up when he saw that hanger. Might have been just bad enough.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 out. A chance for the Cardinals to get their first lead of the night. Helling was in this similar situation with Edmonds back in the 3rd. Paid a lot of attention to the runner out at second, but eventually struck out Jim Edmonds and got out of a tight spot.
It's on a breaking ball.
And it is held at the plate close enough by Miller to keep the runners at first and second. Now it's a full count on Pujols. It was 0-2.
Well, very good defensive catcher. You see him with very similar technique to Mike Matheny. Got away a little bit further, but not enough for Eli to be comfortable enough going to third. Good battle right here on a 3-2 pitch. And 1 out.
We'll see if the runners go. They are going. Slow roller foul.
With Pujols up there, you get that feeling because he doesn't strike out. For the production that he puts up, the home runs, he doesn't have that many strikeouts, so you run the risk by sending him. The only thing you hope there is he doesn't line into a double play.
There are some who believe, though, for a power hitter to keep it quiet in the background behind the hitter where a pitcher's in a spot where he has to throw a strike.
Yeah, I don't think he gets distracted by things that some hitters, even veteran hitters, do.
They go again, and that's a deep fly ball to right. Back at the wall. McCracken cannot make the catch. Cardinals take the lead. Marrero scores. Poorly played by McCracken, and it's 2-1 St. Louis.
Absolutely, Joe. I mean, you've got a guy out there that can flat out run, and he's tippy-toeing, backpedaling, and doesn't put his back up against the wall. It's not very big, but he should have caught that ball.
That ball hit the bottom of the fence.
Yeah, I mean, they're running. It goes back. Look where he is. He's not up against it. And look at it. He jumps too soon. Put your back up against it. He's trying to make the miraculous catch. He doesn't even get any altitude. And he should have made that play easily. Maybe even caught it basketball. A basket catch. There's Eli all confused. And he scores easily. But, boy, the Arizona defense has been atrocious tonight.
Now 3 RBIs shy of Berkman. It's an RBI double. They're going to walk Tino Martinez and pitch with the bases loaded and 1 out to J.D. Drew. So that'll load him up, and Drew will be the hitter.
Watch him go back. I mean, he's a lightning quick guy. Backpedaling. And then he still doesn't go all the way to the wall because he doesn't even put his back on the wall, and the ball falls between him and the wall. That should have been caught easily. And I think they gave him an error. Oh, okay.
It is a double. They do have 2 errors on the board. One came in the 4th inning on the hit by Renteria, and the other on the error by DeRozo. Bases loaded, 1 out for J.D. Drew. J.D. could come up with a big hit for the Cardinals here as they try to get to within 2 games of the Diamondbacks in what is basically a race between these two for home field advantage in the division series, barring a complete collapse by the Atlanta Braves. There are the runners. Edmonds, Pujols, Martinez. That's just foul, and that might have emptied him.
J.D. 0 for his last 18. A little surprising with his speed. He doesn't have a better average with the bases loaded. And his just absolute talent.
Bases loaded, 1 out, the 1-1. Good breaking ball. That's been Helling's best pitch tonight. Strike 2. So they walk Martinez to get to Drew, and J.D. is in a spot to make the Diamondbacks pay, but now backed up at a ball and 2 strikes. We'll see if they want to test the arm of DeLucci in left. Catch made, tag. Here comes Edmonds. Everybody's safe. It's 3-1 Cardinals. Edmonds scores, and Pujols advances to third in what was a risky base running play. Down to second is Martinez. It's 3-1, and Brenly is going to argue the call at third.
Yeah, it's a weak throw. And Albert thinking, well, I'll just have him bring it home, and that's a very close play at third base. The veteran Joe Brinkman. Lucci not much on the throw, but he thinks with the cut off that they're going to get him at third.
Flip. Now the important part of that replay, and that call, Cardinals may have caught a break. The important part of that replay is watching where Edmonds was.
He wasn't at home.
He was awfully close to not being at the plate. Tough to see exactly where he was when that tag was made. But had the tag been applied, it would have been the 3rd out of the inning. And depending on where Edmonds was, if he hadn't gotten to the plate, the run wouldn't have counted. So yeah, it was a risk by Pujols, and the Cardinals may have caught a break.
And if they would have called Edmonds out, I don't think we could have argued. It was that close.
Runners at second and third, 2 out, and a breaking ball is in for a strike to Renteria. And they'll be awfully careful, I would imagine, with Edgar Renteria, who has an RBI hit in tonight's game and 77 RBIs for the year. Cardinals lead 3-1. Hard hit, but right at Womack. And the inning is over. The Cardinals come up with 2 runs to get their first lead of the night. They do it on 3 hits. They strand 2 and have left 7. We go to the 6th. Cardinals lead 3-1.
This portion of Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it. By your local St. Louis area Kia dealers. It's about time everyone had a well-made car. And by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. On that last play where Pujols tried to advance, on the left is Joe Brinkman, your third base umpire. On the right is the second base umpire. The third base umpire goes out to make sure it's a catch. You see the rotation as the second base umpire comes over here, but he doesn't get a real good look at the tag play at third. And maybe that was the difference as to why he was safe and not out. Joe, we got some new pitcher. Casero will come into this game. Kerry Robinson enters the game to play left field, and Marrero moves to right. Here's the numbers. 15th appearance for Facero all with the Cardinals. 3-0. He's been very good. Of late, it's gotten to him a little bit, but still, he's in a pennant race and re-energized.
So the pitcher will bat in the spot vacated by Drew. Robinson will hit ninth. And this ought to let you know what Tony La Russa feels about this game and this lead now, 3-1. Facero coming in the sixth to deal with the middle part of the order. Finley, Miller, then DeLucci, two lefties in this group.
Separated shoulder for Luis Gonzalez. They'll reevaluate it to see to the degree of separation. But man,
this could be a costly night for the Diamondbacks on a number of fronts. As Finley clunks one into right, got that off the end of the bat, but he's on to start the sixth inning for Arizona. And we go to Dan McLaughlin. Dan.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. Here with the commish right out of his seat scribing for tomorrow morning's edition of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Let's talk about this matchup between the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals. Looks like this is the way it's going to be in postseason play. And what do you think about these two teams?
Well, that Gonzalez injury sounds kind of serious. They're a separated left shoulder. I don't know how soon they can plug him back in there. He may not be able to play next week. That's a huge loss for the Diamondbacks, who, you know, they haven't clinched anything yet. They still got to win a game just to get into the playoffs.
Home field advantage, how important would that be if the Cardinals would be eventually lucky enough to get that as Damian Miller flies out to right? How important would that be, the home field advantage?
Oh, a little bit of importance. I mean, I guarantee you, if the Cardinals will win tonight and tomorrow night, Kurt Schilling will be pitching Wednesday here.
No doubt about that. Let's talk about Schilling and Johnson and the 1-2 punch. They single-handedly, it seemed like, shut down the Cardinals in the 5-game series last year. Are they that good? Are they the best 1-2 punch in baseball at this point?
I think they are right now. We don't see, certainly left-right, we don't see Lowe and Martinez for Boston. Although, you know, you remember that Cardinals beat Johnson in the second game last year and had the series right in their hands and gave it back to them. So they can be beaten, and Schilling's been knocked around a little bit lately.
And one of the things, too, about this team is David DeLucci steps in and takes a strike. One of the things about this team that stands out is the fact that you have Scott Rowland in there and Tino Martinez. Martinez has gotten hot. We've seen what Rowland can do. And this lineup, to me, seems to be much better than a year ago.
I would agree. McGuire was struggling a year ago. You had Polanco at third. You had Paquette as an extra man. You got Marrero and Drew providing, you know, some punch in right field, mostly Marrero. It's a better lineup, but is the Cardinals pitching as good as it was a year ago? And I would say the starting rotation, probably not. With all the things that have happened, is this a team of destiny in your mind? Are they going to get past the first and second rounds and get into the World Series? Well, I don't know. That's a tough number. You're going to have to see Morris pitch better and Finley be strong. You know, he was 0-2 in postseason last year, so it's a long shot, but you can't put much past these guys so far this year. Thank you so much, as always. Thank you. You bet. That is the commish. Rick Hummel, back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Rick. 1 ball, 1 strike. DeLucci takes a 92-mile-an-hour pitch from Facero. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Separated shoulder is all we know about the injury with Gonzalez. And I guess over time they'll evaluate that and see how he feels the next few days. But remember, the playoffs begin in a week. DeLucci strikes out. 2 out.
He's been throwing the ball in the 90s, and that was one of the aspects coming over here. For some odd reason, the Cubs were telling him not to use his fastball, where Dave Duncan said use it. And I think the numbers bear it out. That fastball has been good enough.
There's a strike from Facero. Alex Cintron, 0-1. Dave Duncan, Joe Patini, and Andy Bennis talking it over. Bennis gets the ball tomorrow night. Pena helped out by that ball glancing off the mound, and the inning is over on the 4-6 force out. Good work by Facero as the Diamondbacks strand their 6th. Bottom of the 6th. Cards bat up by 2. Cardinal fans back by popular demand. The North Star Magic House Ice Cream Sundays. Every Sunday 2 hours prior to the game, head to the Cardinals courtyard next to the Plaza of Champions for fun activities for the whole family. Free games, music, fun, and free ice cream every Sunday. North Star Magic House Ice Cream Sundays. It has been a disappointing night for the Diamondbacks. Really a sloppy night. When you look at some of the mistakes that have been made, one of the 2 errors. Durazo at first. In this play, more important part on a double by Martinez is how hurt is Gonzalez. The poor throw for another error by McCracken in right. The misplay in right, which went for an RBI double by Pujols on a ball that hit off the bottom of the wall. And through all that, Bob Brenly, as Al mentioned, his team still hasn't clinched. He's watching as he hands the ball to Mike Koplov, who takes over and deals a strike in the inside part to Matheny. A 3-1 Cardinal lead, bottom of the 6th.
Koplov has allowed only 2 runs over 20+ innings in 13 outings.
To the right side, and easy for Spivey, 1 away. I'll bring in Kerry Robinson for his first at bat of the night. Took over when the Cardinals brought in Jeff Fassero in a double switch. .259 average for Robinson, 15 RBIs. Really hasn't had quite the same impact coming off the bench this year as he did a year ago. He surprised everybody by getting the call up, and then really, Al, was one of the more dependable guys that Tony La Russa could call on. He can do a lot of things because of that speed.
Well, he's a member of the Cardinals pitch hitting core. Now, he's not in a pinch hitting situation here because he entered the game as part of a double switch, but the Cardinal pinch hitters have been very good this year.
Cairo is the best and most dependable. The thing about Cairo that he does is he puts the bat on the ball. He doesn't always get hits, but you can count on him making contact. And then Eduardo Perez has just had the flair for the dramatic with pinch hit home runs this season. The count goes to 3-1 on Robinson.
Well, Mitchell Page done a great job of cutting down the strikeouts of the Cardinal hitters and putting balls in plays. There he's going over with Scotty Rowland. Scotty, the National League Player of the Week for last week, and got a little bit of a toe injury, so give him a little time off, 2 days in a row. And it looks like he's going to go down and be ready for a pinch hit appearance or something later on.
A little defensive action late in the game with a lead. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 3-1, the Cardinals on top. Good pitching out of the bullpen by Fassero after Jamie Wright persevered and got through 5, and he's in line for his 2nd Cardinal win. Gary Robinson is gone, 2 out. Tomorrow, the St. Louis Cardinals take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Potential playoff preview. I think there's any doubt about that. And it begins at 6:30 tomorrow night with Cardinals tonight right here on Fox Sports Net. Helling, by the way, could have been helped out with better defense. Went 5 innings tonight. Allowed 3 runs on 7 hits. There were 2 errors behind him and some other misplays. He did strike out 6 and walked 1, plus an intentional walk, so 2 total. To third, Cintrone, high throw but out. Vina's gone, and we slip into the 7th. Fassero back to the hill. Cardinals hanging on to a 3-1 lead. The hot hitter was smooth base running as the Ford Focus with $2,000 cash back and low 0% financing for 60 months. To qualified buyers at no payments until 2003. Ford and your quality Ford stores. Your home run to summer fun. Well, the Cardinals lead 3-1 as we get into the 7th inning. Rod Barajas is going to come off the bench and bat. Batting in the spot Kopilov was. And there's strike one from Facero. Hard enough to find a left-hander who can get the ball over the plate and be tough on left-handers, let alone a guy who can come out of the bullpen and throw 92. And that's what the Cardinals got in Facero. Good pitch, strike two.
Well, and also a guy that's been a starter, reliever, setup guy, closer, got the veteran presence, is a very valuable weapon, and coming into the playoff contention, he's been revitalized. It's got a breaking ball. It's also got a splitter. Jeff started in the Cardinals minor league system. Never got to the big leagues with the Redbirds.
On 0-2. Oh, he made Barajas look terrible. One out. That was a give-up swing on an 0-2 pitch.
Second strikeout, and here you're going to see it. Off-speed pitch right over the top.
They announced a crowd at 30,568 here tonight on what is a rather cool night downtown St. Louis.
It's kind of pleasant. The Cardinals anticipate going over the 3 million mark, but it probably won't be until Sunday.
One ball, one strike. Womack a hit. Set up 2 on with nobody out in the 5th inning, but Jamie Wright got out of it thanks to a Spivey double play ball, and after a walk to Durazo, McCracken grounded out. 1-2 on Womack. What's the word on Mr. Isringhausen?
Joe, the way he threw yesterday, spectacular. Looked good. He told me he was going to throw yesterday. They will rest him. He said, I'll throw again on Friday. No in between, and then I'm ready for the playoffs.
Tough play. Renteria has to hurry. And the ball goes down the right field line. Womack's going to at least end up at second base. Make it third. And he's there with 1 out. Nobody was at the plate for a moment, but Matheny got back. And that'll be a hit and an error. And a runner at third with 1 out.
Edgar has been so good this year, but I think with the speed of Womack, he probably should not have thrown this ball. Kind of excuse me swing. Comes in here, do or die play, throws it right in the dirt. Then it looked like it got by and kicked either by Martinez or Womack, and then off to the races. He never ever turned around to look and see where the ball was until he's pulling up into third.
How far Womack had to run.
Yeah, look at him go here. And then now he picks up his third base coach, never looks back. I'll rely on my third base coach to tell me what I'm supposed to do. And that's why he's at third successfully.
1 out, so that is important. Easier RBI chance for Spivey, who has the only RBI of the night for Arizona so far. He went. Strike one. A home run, a single, but then in a tie game with 2 on and nobody out, 5th inning bounced into a 5-3 double play.
Great block.
Strike.
Ball game. This is a key batter right here.
Two balls and a strike.
Fastball in on him. Gonna miss in off the plate.
3-1 with Durazo, the left-handed hitting first baseman, on deck.
No activity in the Cardinals bullpen.
Got Durazo, then the switch hitter McCracken. Here's a 3-1 to Spivey, runner at third, one out, full count. Cardinals start the night 91-64. The Diamondbacks 94-61. So a 3-game sweep would bring these two teams to even.
Wouldn't that be something?
Cardinals would hold the tiebreaker between the two, and then it's a free-for-all for the last 4 games while the Cardinals entertain Milwaukee and the Diamondbacks have Colorado. Runner at third, one out, 3-2 pitch, got him on the inside corner, 2 out. Third strikeout for Facero, and the 5 outs he's picked up.
See, try to come in there. Good framing by Matheny. Joe, another reason why it'd be important to sweep this series is then you win the head-to-head.
Advanced Auto Division standings. We look at the NL Central, and it's become a runaway now. Cardinals winning the weekend series against Houston. Good pitch in under the hands of Durazo. Strike one, 93 miles an hour. And you look at the NL West, the Diamondbacks have not clinched as they maintain a 4.5 game lead over the Giants, who have a 2-game lead over the Dodgers in the wild card. And you know that the Braves are the Eastern Division champions yet again. Good play by Vini to his left. Good work by Facero. 2 scoreless. And we move to the bottom of the 7th. Now for a look at today's national news headlines, let's go to the Fox Network Center. Congratulations to Vic Conlon, today's merchandise prize winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. The Cardinals hit a home run in this 7th. Vic Conlon will qualify for the grand prize drawing for a Hyundai Santa Fe at the end of the season. Midwest Sports Report is indeed next. As the bottom of the 7th rolls in, it's a 3-1 Cardinal lead, and Eli Marrero, who's been all over the place tonight with 3 hits, a double, 2 singles, and a run scored, will lead it off with Edmonds and Pujols to follow. Now Taguchi is in the on-deck circle. He'll bat for Edmonds. Side armor brings it home, and it's a strike to Marrero.
Well, Joe, the way J.D. Drew is swinging the bat, I don't know if you'd want to start him against Johnson or Schilling.
In on the hands of Marrero, and Womack takes care of him. 1 out. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's So Taguchi. As we remind you, the Cardinal Baseball is a production of Bud Sports and is an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net. What would the reasoning behind this be?
Well, not good. He's been battling knee problems, also the tight hamstrings. But you'd have to believe that if he could swing the bat, they would want him and then put Taguchi out in the outfield. But here Taguchi's getting the AB too.
Third baseman Cintron is even with a bag. It's 2-0.
Love has really kept righties and lefties in check.
So the Cardinals will see plenty of this guy in the upcoming division series between these two.
Lefties are batting just 169 against him. Right-handers 204 according to my notes.
2 balls and a strike. On the inside corner. So it's taking a walk. And it's a full count. And that will not make Andrew Fletcher too happy as he stares at So Taguchi. He makes that long, deliberate walk back. And just does stay alive. Taguchi had that game-winning hit in Colorado, and it was nice to see the look on his face when he came through for his teammates.
Kind of forgot. Guy's so excited he kind of forgot how to run the bases, but Baroja stays in the game and is working behind the plate.
Here's a 3-2 pitch again, and Taguchi again gets a piece of it. So they had made a double switch when they brought Koplov in. They brought the catcher Barajas in. That's why Barajas is batting in the number 9 spot. Miller has the rest of the night off. Here's a 3-2 and the 3rd consecutive foul ball.
So looks much better at the plate than earlier in the season or even in spring training. Most 400 hitters look that way too.
Another foul. So a battle. Taguchi worked him for a walk. Good at bat. Don't forget, the month of October is going to be big on the Fox network. Baseball's division series kicks off with up to 125 hours of October's magical matchups. Also thrilling NFL showdowns. No other network can boast the kind of sports moments we'll have on Fox Sports beginning October 1st. 1 on, 1 out for Albert Pujols, who has an RBI tonight and is 3 shy of the league lead. The 128 put up by Lance Berkman, who's sitting out tonight. As Houston has now pounded Milwaukee 8-4, they're going into the 7th inning there. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning here. It's a 3-1 Cardinal lead. The Diamondbacks in the 8th. We'll have McCracken, Finley, and then a pinch hitter for Koplov.
Gucci running on the pitch. Albert fouled it, and it looked like Barojas might have caught some of it on the bare hand. Steve Klein is warming up for the Cardinals in their bullpen, so you can see Tony wanting to use his left-handers. Another indication that Chuck Finley is going to be very significant in a series.
I know it's got to thrill Tony that as this series unfolds against Arizona, he doesn't have to use Finley.
Right.
And he can save Finley and give the Diamondbacks their first look at Chuck. And I'm sure with his time with the Angels, I would imagine, I don't know for sure, I would imagine he's faced this team before in interleague play, but that would have been a few years ago. He's faced him 3 times, 1-1 record. But I would venture to say, and you've seen a lot more of Chuck Finley than I have, that this is a different Chuck Finley than the Diamondbacks would have faced a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think you're right. And also the significance of postseason play will bring out the best in Chuck.
Keeping a close eye on Taguchi, who might take off. Lost to the Diamondbacks this year on June 29th. Through 96 pitches, interleague play. And again, with what Dave Duncan has done with Chuck Finley, he's made Finley a different type pitcher.
Well, and also Chuck didn't have a lot of run support when he was with Cleveland, and I think he has a better offense with him.
There goes Taguchi, but a foul by Pujols will send So back 2-2.
I don't think any of us are concerned, and we like the idea of him facing the Diamondbacks.
The big difference, though, and Rick Hummel talked about it, is in the starting pitching. And it's just a shame that Woody Williams is where he is with that muscle pull and that strain in his side and back, because we've talked about it 100 times. To me, he's the most valuable starter the Cardinals have. Cintrone could not go down and get it, or at least didn't, and Pujols is on with a hit, a walk, a single, 2 on, 1 out, with Tino Martinez coming up, and Albert Pujols goes limping down to first base.
Well, he's been battling a groin pull, and see, he slipped right there, but that's not good if you've been having some kind of a leg injury. You know what? He plays every day, though. And, you know, I think here's another play that a weak attempt. Nice matador effort from Cintrone.
It's 2 on with 1 out for Tino Martinez. Cardinals could add to a 3-1 lead. There is action for the Diamondbacks out in their bullpen. Steve Klein is still getting loose for the Cardinals in theirs. Lefty and a righty getting loose. Swindell and Matt Manti. Into left center field, pretty well hit. Finley back at the wall. Another fantastic Steve Finley catch, and now Pujols is going to get back to the bag. He was all the way around second base when that ball was caught, and almost up the back of Taguchi, but there's no double play. This is the second out of the inning.
Now you see, after he makes the play, he has the presence of mind. He knows where it is, and he's trying to will his throw to the cutoff man and tell him all at the same time to go to first base.
Now Cairo's going to hit for Facero. And 2 more terrific innings from Jeff Facero. No runs, 2 hits, pitched around an error, struck out 3 and walked none.
So is very sound fundamentally. Tony La Russa has been very impressed with how he knows about running the bases, all the little nuance of the game. Plays this ball perfectly. And now the catch is made, scrambles back, but didn't put his head down and overly commit. Tagged up and was going to watch and see where the throw back to the infield was, see if he could advance after he tagged up.
Visit to the mound now as Cairo is announced as the pinch hitter. We'll see if the Diamondbacks make a pitching change. You can join catcher Mike Matheny, outfielder Kerry Robinson, and other Cardinal celebrities for the 2003 Cardinal Cruise. Sails from Port Canaveral, Florida on January 25th and returns February 1st. Sail on Holland America's Zaandam and visit the popular Caribbean ports of Cozumel, Grand Cayman, Montego Bay, Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take you to Bermuda, Bahamas. Come on, pretty much. And Holland America's private island, Half Moon Cay. Cardinal players and staff will be available for photographs and autograph sessions, question and answer sessions, cocktail parties. Call Altair Travel 314-968-9600 or 800-844-5598.
One of the new additions is going to be Crudale, who's going on the cruise.
2 on, 2 out. Cairo, strike 1.
Cairo is second in the National League with 18 pinch hits. He's 8th in pinch hit AB with a .316 batting average and tied for 5th with 9 pinch hit RBIs.
Swung way around to the right for Cairo.
He's a career .330 batter here at Busch Stadium.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And I think a lot of us realize how good a player he is, but yet a terrific bench guy that's always ready and keeps a great attitude, and is
to the left side and through the left side. Taguchi will score, and it's 4-1. Cairo delivers again.
Big run right there. And Miguel Cairo continues to come through. Everybody knows how valuable he is, and they just appreciate this effort. Instead of being inside, Koplov leaves the ball over the plate a little bit, and crowd, not like McGuire at bats, but they come to their feet just the same.
Renteria takes a strike over the inside corner. A walk and 2 hits in this inning, and the Cardinals have their biggest lead at 4-1. By the way, they're at the half in the Rams game, and the Rams defense has been chewed up tonight by Tampa Bay. It's 13-7 Buccaneers. No balls, 2 strikes on Renteria. On 0-2, that gets away, and the runners will advance to second and third. Here's a spot out where typically in this spot you would consider putting Renteria on, but now with a count of 1 ball, 2 strikes, Koplov will come after him. We'll see if Renteria can get the hit that busts it open.
Yeah, very weak effort, so this porous defense continues here for the Diamondbacks. You know, Joe, that could be huge in the series and a real difference maker if they can't play better defense.
To the right side, Spivey going to take a great play, can't make it. Pujols scores, and it's 5-1.
Base hit and RBI, so the second RBI for Renteria, and the Cardinals have a 5-1 lead. Goes to his left, tries to make the off-balance throw. It's offline.
So the wild pitch, then they were really forced to go after Renteria with a count 1-2, and Edgar delivers again.
But the defense that we've seen here, Diamondbacks going to need those strikeout pitchers, because they put the ball in play. They have not been too good, and I'm shocked, because they are a much better defensive club than how they played here tonight.
Bob Brenly said before the game we went to Colorado and just played awful, just terrible baseball.
A couple of the veteran players told me the same.
That's to third. That's a base hit, and it's 6-1. That wasn't very pretty either over at third base. An RBI hit from Matheny, and the Cardinals now lead by 5.
That is something the Cardinals have been doing a great trait, winning in September, but scoring a lot of runs late. And another effort that, I mean, you put any one of our Cardinal defenders, and the one that Spivey hit, that one right there at third, our guys catch those balls and make the play.
Koplov is finished, and the Diamondbacks may be finished here tonight. It's a 6-1 Cardinal lead, and the Diamondbacks are kicking the ball all over the yard. They go back to their bullpen as the 7th inning continues. The Diamondbacks came into this game having lost 3 straight. That happened out in Colorado. They were ugly games. And tonight it's been another ugly one for the world champion Diamondbacks. Error by Durazo, the injury to Luis Gonzalez, separated shoulder, the throw by McCracken, the non-catch by McCracken. And it continues with Centrone not even coming close to that ball. The wild pitch. The base hit to the right side, and the wild throw by Spivey. Then on the ball hit by Matheny. Centrone can't keep his feet. And it's just been a comedy of errors. It's anything but funny for Bob Brenly. It's 2 on, 2 out. Robinson at the plate. Greg Swindell takes over on the mound. Up the middle. That'll continue the inning and load the bases. Even had Womack come up with that, with Robinson's speed, there is no chance to get Carey at first.
No way. So a base hit for Kerry Robinson. Breaking ball right back to the middle. Tried to backhand it. And there you see both of the middle infielders going for it. So even with Matheny at first base, they couldn't get a force out at second. So a base hit for Carey, and the inning continues for Vigna. Cardinals 12 hits again. As you see the numbers on Swindell, he lost the game yesterday.
Right back in there, and he deals a strike to Fernando Vigna. 9th man to bat in this 7th. The Cardinals have blown it open at 6-1. They'd like some more.
Swindell had been pitching well until yesterday. 4 hits allowed, including a 3-run homer by Helton.
Cardinals got that split in Houston. Then went to Colorado and swept. Won the series against Houston. Trying to get off on the right foot against Arizona. Renteria, Matheny, and Robinson, the runners on. 2 out in the 7th. Vigna up the middle off Swindell. Cintrone trying to make the play. Safe. It's 7-1. And the problems continue for the Diamondbacks. Must be a full moon, Bob Brenly's thinking. And it is.
Well, here, line back up the middle off the foot of Swindell. Citrone had a chance, but a low throw, doesn't come up with it. And that is another base hit, an RBI for Vigna, his first hit of the night, but his 53rd RBI. And those two guys say, when does this end?
Marrero looking for his 4th hit.
Rojas doesn't know where the ball is.
In his career with the bases loaded, not much. Now the runners are Matheny, Robinson, and Vigna. More speed as you go around the bases, 3rd to 1st.
Eli started this inning off
by grounding out. Trying to avoid making 2 outs in this 7th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals lead 7-1, and Klein is like a caged animal out of that bullpen, pacing, walking around. He doesn't know what to do out there. Standing up for half an hour. A 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. We've seen just about everything except a grand slam here tonight.
13 hits. Cardinals 7 runs. I mean, this offense is starting to come alive at the right time.
Into right center field. Finley, can he get there? No. 3 runs are going to score. 10-1 on the 4th hit of the night for Marrero.
So the way he's swinging the bat, Eli's got to be in your lineup. J.D. Drew doesn't hit Johnson, and he doesn't hit Schilling. So, I mean, look for him to continue this in postseason. And Finley, a very good defensive player, felt like he wasn't close enough to dive for the ball, and then he slipped as Eli, career high, or did he tie his career? I think he had to tie it. His 4 hits.
Strike 1 to So Taguchi, who got all this started with a 1-out walk, and it was not a easy walk. He really had to work for it. He got it going. Swindell took something off that pitch, and it's 0-2.
Randy Johnson, big unit. I think he's got to be the favorite for the Cy Young right now. Earlier it was his teammate Schilling, but
that's a little flare that might drop. It does. 11-1.
And a second RBI for So Taguchi. He scores Marrero. I mean, he makes contact and a little flare.
There's that full moon.
Oh, it's just short of a full moon.
Yeah, there's a little
Wait till
sliver.
tomorrow night. Wait till tomorrow night.
Just a little sliver. Ball one to Pujols, who has driven home 125 now. There's one down into the corner. So Taguchi's going to try to make it 126 RBIs. Run, so run. 12-1.
Well, I'm sure Albert's going to give him a big thank you because he made that 126th RBI. Boy, this is just like batting practice right now. So fundamentally so sound. Look at him pick up Oquendo, racing home. Slide and his hand coming across the plate. 12-1 St. Louis. 16 hits now. When we were in Colorado, we had one game 17, the next game 18 hits. Perez.
Eduardo Perez batting for Gino Martinez.
So 8 consecutive 2-out hits. Swindell has allowed 5 consecutive hits. Top of the last 3.
Off the end of the bat, strike 2. Got to feel good for Tony La Russa against this team that they will face most likely next week in the division series. It appears the Cardinals will be only 2 games behind Arizona in the battle for home field advantage in that division series after tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and even if you make it close, even if you don't get it, if you force the Diamondbacks, because they haven't clinched, if you force the Diamondbacks to have to use Schilling or have to use Johnson before the end of this series, then you get another look at those guys before next week.
But how about psychologically having this type of game against them?
Another hit. Pujols will run through the stop sign and make it 13-1. Oquendo's trying to protect Pujols. And that injured groin, and Albert just kept on running.
All these guys are trying to make a statement. And here, just another hard hit ball that goes through. And I think Mark Grace is going to start warming up.
Now Bob Brenly is going to come out and ask the umpire if he's sure his team has to get 3 outs in this inning. Is there any other way we can end this 7th? Talk about the Cardinals team having fun tonight. Another pitching change here in the 7th. Diamondbacks wondering what just hit them here in the 7th inning. 10 runs. It's a 13-1 lead. Coming up next, the Midwest Sports Report. 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to teams throughout the Midwest. One-on-one chat with Chris Pronger. How's he feeling? Missouri and Illinois football reports. And a complete post-game wrap-up from this one. Why don't you make it interesting, Al, and say something like, if the Diamondbacks come back and win this game, I'll walk all the way out to Phoenix. Like a Jim Rooker kind of.
No, because you know what happened to Rooker?
He had to walk from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh.
Right.
He said that at the end of a game, similar type game. He said, if the Phillies come back and win this one, I'll walk all the way home. And so for charity at the end of the year, after the Phillies did come back and win that game, he did walk from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he did. Now, I know the Cardinals aren't going to lose this lead, but I also know I'm not going to make that statement.
Here's Cairo, who delivered another pinch hit single for an RBI, and then obviously scored a run later as this carousel continues to spin around. Matt Manti on the mound, the former closer with Florida and then with Arizona, until arm trouble hit Manti. And here he is setting up for Byung-Hun Kim.
Still got a great arm, doesn't he?
He used to throw high 90s. Missing with that, it's 1-2. Had the nickname of the Iceman. But setup guys don't get to use a nickname very often.
Or sometimes they get a nickname they don't want.
Right. A 1-2 to Cairo.
Cardinals have scored 10 runs here in the 7th inning. And they've had 9 consecutive 2-out hits.
You can go years without seeing that. 9 straight hits with 2 out. It is over. The inning, not the game. Are they having fun here tonight? Well, it's the 8th inning now, and after a 10-run 7th, here are the Cardinals leading 13-1. They have a number of changes defensively. Right in the middle of it all is Steve Klein taking over on the mound. Eduardo Perez is in at first base. Vina stays at second. The Cardinals have Delgado at short. Cairo's in at third. Taguchi's in center. There's Wilson Delgado, the shortstop. Had that big Saturday afternoon against the Chicago Cubs, or Sunday afternoon. And here's the guy in the middle of all those changes, Steve Klein, who tries to protect a 12-run lead. Strike one to McCracken. After Quinton, it's Finley, and then the pitcher spot.
Jamie Wright in line for the victory. Have to sweat it out. He'd be 2-0 since coming to the Cardinals.
Strike two.
Hey, Joe. Facero is 3-0 since coming over here. With this win, Jamie Wright would be 2-0. Rick White is 3-0.
Finley, what's Finley?
Finley is 6-4, I believe. He has 6-4, and he deserves at least two or three more wins.
What are you getting at?
Well, Jocketty stocked the cupboard when they looked like it was a little bare. And that is so important. First of all, ownership allows him to do so. But the ball club starts feeling like they need a little help. And ownership has allowed Walt to do it. And he has done it with guys that have responded and been big, big lifts.
You can make a case for any of the acquisitions. Take Rolen out of the mix. Rolen's a guy, not just for now, but you hope for the rest of his career. But Finley was a huge addition, not only for this team, but the Reds didn't get him. And at that point, the Reds and Cardinals were pretty much neck and neck. And Finley, the Cardinals are going to lean on him heavily in the upcoming postseason as McCracken's on with a base hit to start the 8th.
Joe, think about, and this has pretty much been confirmed, that if the Reds ownership would have allowed Bowden to make a couple deals, he made the deal for Scott Rowland, for Bartolo Colon, for Chuck Finley, and Jose Hernandez. Now, what would have happened if they would have acquired those guys and we did not?
That's an interesting question. Steve Klein is going to be relieved here in the 8th inning.
You know what? To me, he had committed, but then the 10 runs, bring in Klein, but he really didn't want him to pitch.
So after the leadoff hit, Klein's gone and Crudale takes over. 13-1 here in the 8th. Cardinals have their 4th pitcher of the night on the mound, Mike Crudale. Right, then Pissarro, then Klein, now Crudale with 1 on, nobody out. 13-1 in the 8th.
You know, Joe, as I said, when Steve Klein was going to go into that ball game, but then after they score 10 runs, you get it so lopsided. You let him pitch to one guy, but then you get him out of there because you really don't want him out there. You want him available to maybe tomorrow he pitches 2 innings like Pissarro does tonight, because it's so evident that you're going to need your left-handers against this Arizona lineup. Mark Little, the former Cardinal and Belleville product.
He bats for Finley. A strike over the inside corner. Little bats for Finley, who was 1 for 2 while he was in there. And it's good to see Mark Little in the big leagues with Arizona, although he has done little this season, hitting 191. Good breaking ball in from Crudale.
This is Mark's 3rd big league stop this year. Opened the 2002 season with the Rockies and joined the Mets as part of a July 31st trade, then coming to the Diamondbacks for a player to be named later on August 16th.
They don't hold against McCracken, yet he doesn't run as Little strikes out. 1 away. And not a very good at bat for Mark. Well, if they're going to give you second base, you might as well take it. McCracken can run, yet he's content to stay at first, and there's Little going after a terrible pitch and called out by the home plate umpire, Andrew Fletcher.
Now, what happens if Colburn hits a ground ball to the infield right now?
Inning's over.
That's what I mean. It's like you said, Joe. It's you know, it's the Cardinals that shouldn't be running, but McCracken can walk down there.
He should take off right here.
And he's still not.
Not only are they not holding against him, they don't care about him.
I mean, they don't even
throw.
Absolutely don't even care about him. And I mean, Perez has not made one move behind him to come and get in check. Look at the lead. You still could get more. Take off.
1 ball, 1 strike on Colburn.
Oh, there was a lady walking up the aisleway and almost got plucked in the back of the head by that vicious line drive. Colburn can turn on a lot of fastballs.
He's good.
There she is. You are lucky, ma'am.
Strike 2 on Colburn.
A lot of love in the air. And Glenn Helbig is a pretty lucky guy. Unbelievable. Shell, his lovely bride, 7-year anniversary today, and she talks so glowing terms about her husband. Happy anniversary to both of them.
2-2 from Crudale. I mean, you like a lot of things about Crudale, but what he really does is come out of the bullpen aggressive and throw strikes. Good pitching. Comes in, the man on, nobody out, strikes out Little, strikes out Colburn. 2 away, and the batter will be Felix Jose.
Yeah, I know I saw Felix, but as you said, Mike Crudale, and talking with Dave LaPointe yesterday, Dave LaPointe had Crudale last year at Double-A, where he was the closer there. Dave also recommended the Cardinals to sign Simon Tachi after he saw him pitching winter ball in the Venezuelan League.
I think LaPointe needs a raise.
I think those two guys ought to pay it too, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to.
The numbers for Felix Jose. The main piece of property that the Cardinals got when they traded Willie McGee to Tony La Russa's A's. 1 ball, 1 strike. It was 1990.
He was in the Mexican League this year and was hit phenomenal. 450 or so. Tore it up in the championship series, and then they signed by the Diamondbacks. I talked to him. Boy, he had a big smile on his face, and I understood everything he said.
2 balls and a strike. Still can't believe McCracken standing at first base.
Well, I can't believe that Robin Yount hasn't kicked him in the seat of the pants and told him to go take it.
It's only the 8th inning, and you could get yourself into a position where a hit gives you a run. And all right, it's 13-1, but you still have to play the game the right way, don't you?
But especially when there was 1 out, you know, like you said, have a ground ball, you easily turn 2. I mean, you might as well try and, you know, the Cardinals scored 10.
Ball 4 now to Felix Jose.
Hey, he got to second base now.
Now he's down there. 1 walk, 1 hit. 2 on, 2 out for Alex Cintron, who is 0 for 2 since taking over for Donalds.
Switch hitter, so turning around now to the left side.
Good breaking ball for strike 1.
Well, the way he jumps at hitters, he's aggressive, he gets ahead in the count, jumps at hitters, a little bit deceptive.
Two on, 2 out, no balls, 1 strike. That should end the inning easily as Eli Marrero puts it away. A hit, a walk. Good work by Crudale. Diamondbacks have stranded 10. They trail by 12 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. This portion of Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with lower fares. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by Lowe's, improving home improvement. Chilly night. Cardinal bats are lighting it up here in the late innings. A 10-run 7th. A 13-1 lead. Bottom of the 8th, and Wilson Delgado will bat against Manti. Renteria, while he was in there 2 out of 4 with 2 RBIs, 78 now for the Cardinal shortstop. Delgado. Ball 1.
Looks like Felix Jose stays in to play left field. Jay Bell is at shortstop. Colburn first. Here's Felix. Jay Bell. Colburn at first.
Two balls, no strikes.
Mark Little stays in to play center. Anybody left on either side?
No, not empty. Delgado, deep right. McCracken back. This time a leap and a catch. McCracken tried that way back, in the 5th inning and missed it.
Tony DeAngelis' camera here in this fly ball. It looked like Delgado was looking for his 3rd major league home run, his 2nd since coming up, but McCracken this time makes a play right up against the reminder that the Cardinals are the 2002 Central Division champions.
There's Tony Angeles. Nice work, Tony. Here is Ivan Cruz. There's one Cardinal home run, which came out in Denver, Colorado.
Led all the minor leaguers this year with 35 home runs. He had 100 RBIs, 280 batting average. And the Cardinals are intrigued about this guy. He's 34 years of age.
You know, these guys are valuable when you find a guy that you can put at AAA to help your team win and to get something going at that AAA level while you can filter your prospects in around some of these veterans.
Absolutely. And Cruz is just one of those guys where, you know, Memphis is a big time market, so you've got to put it, they got that beautiful new ballpark there. You've got to put a pretty good product on the field. So he's a valuable guy to the organization.
And he can hit line drives like that into right and on with 1 out here in the 8th. Our play of the game brought to you by Bud Light. With a great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. Why do we show it? Pujols looking for his 2nd RBI of the night. So Taguchi all the way around from first. Part of that 10-run 7th inning. And Albert's now 2 RBIs shy of the league lead. Assuming that Berkman stayed out of the lineup in Houston and he didn't add to his total of 128.
That was the 18th hit, the one off the bat of Cruz, and that ties the Cardinals high in hits this season. They did it last week in Colorado. Now, do not run here.
No balls, 2 strikes on Kerry Robinson.
If with a 13-1 lead, if a Cardinal base runner tried to take an extra base,
there'll be a fight.
There will be a fight. And Tony would be the first one to throw the punch at his own guy. What are you trying to do? Get one of us killed?
1 ball, 2 strikes on Robinson, who has a hit and a run scored, 1 for 2 tonight, batting the number 9 spot. Two. See Manti, 94 miles an hour. He used to be 98, 99.
Probably get it back up there next year.
High heat, 93 miles an hour. Robinson is gone, 2 out. 2nd strikeout for Manti. He came on to strike out Cairo to end that long 7th inning. Here's DeFelice, who will bat Vina's spot and stay in and do the catching. Vina was lifted for the pinch hitter Cruz here in the 8th. Strike 1. A 13-1 game here in St. Louis, and that person's playing Pong.
Any good?
Can't tell. We'll have to go back to it. See if it's breakout. I prefer Pong.
Showing your age now, Joe.
Eat
Pong.
Eat eat 2 balls and a strike. Yep, she's going for a high score. Here's the dot moving up high. taking out 2 squares. Now look at that ball move. 2 squares left. 1 on, 2 out, 2 balls and a strike, 3 balls and a strike.
1.
Oh wait, there's some up at the top. Now there are 3 left. 2 up top. Oh, so now yes, 2 left.
Is this a bat going to end before?
Oh, there's only 1 square left. And the inning continues on a walk. No, just trying to get that upper left-hand corner is always something that's difficult to do. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we've moved on to level 2. Here's Eli Marrero, who has 4 hits tonight. He has scored twice and driven home 3. Big night.
4 for 5 on the evening. 3 RBIs.
Getting good swings all night. Powered by Palm. We use those for our scorekeeping down in the truck. 2 on, 2 out. No balls, 1 strike. Good fastball. And it's 0-2. This one went in a hurry. See if the Cardinals can add to a 13-1 lead. The Diamondbacks in the 9th inning will have Barajas to start it. And Bell and Spivey. 1-2 pitch. That should get out of play. It will. Some guy just backing up. Took a seat trying to catch that foul ball. She's been found out.
Uh-oh. Look at it. Did I do something wrong?
Fox Sports Net will be covering.
Breakout.
Breakout. Off the third baseman, Cintrone. With a tag for the out. And the inning comes to a close. Look at the form. Look at the technique. With that, stage 1 has been officially cleared. Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net, brought to you by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. They are playing like it tonight, as Eduardo Perez, who's played some third base at the big league level, is back at third. I think he came up as a third baseman.
Yeah.
And Ivan Cruz is in the game at first.
And then Cairo moved from third to second. And DeFelice is back behind the plate for the new pitcher. Gabe Molina will take over.
The numbers for Molina.
174 batting average, 176 batting average against. Pretty good. Another one of those guys has got a few stints, cups of coffee with different ball clubs. Solid year at AAA before coming up here.
What does Barajas have in store for him to start the 9th inning? First pitch swinging. Ivan Cruz. 1 out. Rob King is standing by with an update on what's coming your way tonight on the Midwest Sports Report. Rob?
Sticks around after the game for the Midwest Sports Report. Our Jim Hayes goes one-on-one with Chris Pronger. Jeff Gordon will talk about Albert Pujols' chances at an NL MVP. We'll also update Woody Williams' injury situation. That's all coming up after the game. Joe and Al, now back to you.
All right, Rob, thanks. First pitch is up and in, ball 1 to Jay Bell with Spivey on deck. Cardinals on their way to victory number 92. The Diamondbacks have 94. The Cardinals can end with a better record than the Diamondbacks. They will host the division series first 2 games, as opposed to having to travel out to the desert.
And with this Cardinal victory here tonight, it will even the season series at 2 apiece.
The only pitcher the Cardinals beat when they were out in Arizona first time around was Schilling. 3-1 on Jay Bell. A coast to the finish here for La Russa and Duncan. And a 1-out walk. We've seen Wright, Facero, Klein, Crudale, who did well last inning with 1 frame, 2 strikeouts and a walk. And now it's Molina. One on, 1 out. Spivey. Ball stays out in front of the plate. Molina chases it. Bell stays at first. Spivey has the only RBI of the night for Arizona, and it came over 3 hours ago. A 1-out home run in the first inning.
About the only player that started this game that's played the whole game. Cardinals have replaced every one of their starters. Remember that one pitch that got off hit DeFelice's shin guard, and Jay Bell still didn't even go.
Into center field, Taguchi with a nice catch, 2 out. Tough chance, and so Taguchi comes up with it. 1 on, 2 out. As So shows his abilities out at center.
Well, he was several times. Was he a Gold Glove winner in Japan? Like he kind of hesitated a little bit just to make it look that much tougher for him. Trying to get more playing time.
Timing it a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Nah, but I'll tell you what, Tony La Russa is very, very thrilled with everything about So. I mean, you wish he was a little more a stronger batter.
Lyle Overbay pops up. Delgado. Cardinals win it. Final of 13-1. Possible playoff preview. Tony La Russa wanted this game and got it. We'll be right back with a post-game report. Now it's time for the Midwest Sports Tonight. Let's send it to the studio. It's all yours.